Ilene Shaw, thank you so much for being with us today. I appreciate your time and excited to have you on the series.
I'm very honored and pleased to join you, Pavan. I love what you're doing, and I'm very thrilled to be part of this group that you're bringing to the world to discuss this most unusual situation that we find ourselves in.
Yeah, no kidding. Let's start with this. Why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself and what it is that you do professionally, particularly with Design Pavilion?
Mm-hmm. So I'm Ilene Shaw. I am CEO of Shaw & Co. Productions. For decades, we've been bringing great design to the world through events and trade shows and public shows and retail events. And currently, for the past 5 years, we've been bringing design thinking and concepts in the form of interactive installations to the public during the New York Festival, NYC by Design. And we set up in Times Square. We take over 42nd Street to 48th Street annually, and we bring all these beautiful activities to the public along with design talks. So it's, of course, Times Square has become the iconic global symbol of what we're facing, and no more gathering for the time being. So hopefully we'll start doing some things virtually as you are in order to keep people in the know and informed. And designers, as we all know, are really setting themselves to task to deal with what we're facing and what we can imagine we'll be facing when it's over. So design will play an important role at that time.
And to continue to paint that picture, you said 42nd Street all the way up to 48th in Times Square. You expect or have been receiving over the last 5 years, each iteration has been getting anywhere between 8 to 12 million people that pass through. When you say you have a content stage, it's actually recorded at the NASDAQ. So for all those that are listening, this is the premier showcase of design across industries and viewpoints as it relates to all aspects, whether it be clothing, whether it be industrial design and car manufacturing and lighting, and you think of it, you name it, you could think of it, it's there. So I mean, it seems silly to even ask, but how has COVID impacted what you're doing there with design?
Yeah, well, we've been impacted greatly. We've actually been stopped completely as we wait to see how the city and the state will unroll and open up again. But, you know, yes, we have been a platform for all of the design disciplines, from architecture to industrial design. That's products of all kinds, everything from transportation to home furnishings. We also include fashion design and graphic design. We're all still connected. We're staying connected in a very close, in a close way. We have been able to grow NYC by Design so quickly because of our collaboration, and that isn't stopping. We stay in touch weekly, if not some of us daily, and we support each other in the information that we're trying to share during this moment. We, of course, Design Pavilion is based on bringing the public together and with the design industry. So that physicality of it, of course, can't happen right now. But we'll need it again one day. And when we do reopen, whether it's in the fall or the winter or next spring, whenever it is, we're going to be ready to again come out and bring design to the public in a joyous and delightful way, and to inspire and increase hope, and to explain what this new world is going to be, or to help explain, because design, it affects our everyday life, and it also is shaping our future. Well, that shaping is adjusting. And where is that going to be? What is that going to be? What kind of materials must we use that are antibacterial and antiviral? How do we share public spaces and touch things that other people are touching a lot? How is it going to affect our physical space around each other, and for how long? And so, even I have been on the internet looking for fashionable masks, so that when I'm out there for the next year or year and a half, I feel like at least I'm coordinated in some way. Those are the lower hanging fruit, but then everything else that is in our built world is going to be affected by it. How will our offices be set up? Will there be physical dividers between us? Or will most of us continue to work at home in this way as we're doing right now? So, and if so, what does that mean? And how do we create conducive, quiet spaces where we can do something like this and have our meetings and so on? And what is Zoom etiquette? And there's just so many questions, and we're all figuring it out, but design will play a big part in it.
You were originally slated for May, and of course that's smack dab in the middle of it and just around the corner. Are you doing anything to cultivate the community, folks that were participating, whether it be the design installations itself, the artists behind it, the collaborators on content, the sponsors that you already had locked in? Is there anything you're doing in the digital sphere to keep that conversation going as you kind of restructure when and where things do take place?
Yes, of course. Our design talks, and you mentioned NASDAQ, and I'm sorry I didn't address it, and I will now. Our design talks will continue in a different way. We were planning 3 full days of talks from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. That's a lot to ask of people online, and we'll do a shortened version of it. We were also dividing our days into themes. The first day, we were looking at the future. The second day, we're looking at resilience and sustainability. And the third day, humanity, and how design affects community and humans on a personal level. And we will do that in May. We'll plan a virtual design talk and invite some of our keynotes and our panels. We'll keep it short, and maybe we'll extend it. Instead of 3 days, maybe it will be over a 2-week period. And I say that maybe because we're just deciding this week. So our panelists and our keynotes are lined up, and it's just a matter of how long we want it to be on a daily basis, because other organizations will be doing the same. And we want to continue to give information and enrich people's thoughts, but also we don't want them inundated with everybody talking at them all at once. So we will continue that. NASDAQ, yes, we have a wonderful series, part of the NASDAQ show Spotlight series, and ours were design interviews, and we have already agreed to continue that with them, but we don't have our dates yet.
Mm-hmm. Interesting.
And what we love about that relationship is we feel so strongly, and we're so passionate about the power of design and how design really can help us as humans. It's there. Good design is there to improve our conditions, to make a better world, to make a better place, to make things more convenient and helpful and healthier for people. And we also feel that our audience, it's part of the public, but it's more specific. Our audience is business as well. And we cherish this relationship with NASDAQ because, of course, they're business. And that element, they are our clients, our future clients as well, our future customers. But big business knows now, through these past years, we've have chief design officers in corporations. Design can help them strategize in their business, but also can help them improve their products and so on. So we think that that audience and that channel is very, very important to us. And yes, we will continue doing that.
You know, a big part of these large brand activations or opportunities for brands to activate is, of course, the sponsorships that come through. Is there any advice that you could lend folks that are also, disrupted because they plan physical festivals or whatever, gatherings of sorts, of various sorts, and rely on brand partnerships? Can you maybe lend some advice in terms of how to navigate those relationships so you're still lending value or at least sustaining things until an appropriate moment?
Yeah, so that is a really important question, a really good question, and I will never pretend that I know that answer. But what we've been doing and what I have been experiencing is that those who made early commitments, they want very much to continue being part of our program. It gets enormous visibility, not just for millions of people who are there on site, but for all of the afterwards, the social media, the printed media, and the videos that live on after. But it also has, and it has a reach beyond Times Square to the rest of the world. So they are standing by us and sticking with us, and we're just waiting for when Times Square and the city opens again. And they have planned their installations. They are producing their installations. Some are continuing to work because they're not in New York and they have the capacity to work in a workshop, which is fantastic. And then and another is they stopped their production for a little while and then opened up again last week. And then the European exhibitors are on hold at the moment, but ready to pick up immediately upon opening. So they feel that they're ready. For those who did not commit yet, they have verbally committed that they will be there when we open, and we're planning that with them. But one of the things that we're doing, I think this is the important part, we are creating these installations, which really will be very beautiful and very touching. And many of them will have a use, stations where people can get information or help that they need after this crisis that we're pulling out of, and whether it's jobs, food, or any city programs that might be available. We want to make that available to them, the information. But we're partnering, we're creating partnerships between the creatives, the contractors and construction, and the material companies. And the three together take a smaller investment. It takes a smaller financial donation, and they're working as teams to create in an in-kind way these installations that then the public will enjoy. So we're doing it slightly differently. It might not be financial money exchange, but it's partnerships in kind of teams together that together they can create this. So we're trying to be creative in the way that we're able to bring people together, and it's not such a heavy load for any of them.
How do you anticipate like the longer tail impact of COVID to the work that you're doing?
Mm. You know, it depends on the moment. Most of the time, I'm extremely optimistic, and I know that the world has faced terrible crisis in the past before, whether it's war and man against man, or if it's nature and it's hurricanes and earthquakes or any other devastating crisis that's taken lives and taken fortunes and have made a mess of people's lives. And we are spirited species, and we survive these things. And I know that as surreal as it feels at the moment, that as we pass through it, we will get stronger and smarter and wiser and more creative, and we'll come out on the other end, and we'll pick up and continue. How does it affect design? Well, as I said, design will rise to the occasion. How does it affect my immediate business right now, which would be considered an event? I don't know. But whatever we must do when we're at that other end, we will. We'll just bend and roll with the flow, whether it stays virtual or whether we allow people to be in certain spaces for a limited amount of time, a limited amount of people. We'll figure out what's best. Trade shows will widen their aisles and put their booths further away and create hours of visitors, and we'll have wonderful masks and wonderful protection and gloves. But we still need each other. We still need to share information. We still want to experience. We still need human contact and communication. We're going to pull through this. And whenever it is, life will be different. Our perspective will be different. The way we do things will be different, but we're going to continue and carry on, and new businesses will come out of this. I don't know what my business is going to look like, but it will be exciting and interesting to figure that out and make it be what it needs to be.
Couldn't have said it better. That was fantastic. What types of folks are you looking to connect with these days, and what is the best way to follow either you personally or the work that you're doing through Design Pavilion?
Well, first of all, we're launching a new website. I hope it's going to be next week by May 1st. We'll have a new website. And at that point, we'll roll out our design talks, which can be seen on our website through NYC by Design, probably on Vimeo and Facebook and YouTube. So we'll make the right stations and channels available and known to everybody. Mm-hmm. And we'll just continue to plan for when we open up. And we'll bring some really brilliant architects and designers together, as well as brilliant emerging young designers. And I'm also working with a company called Arts Thread, which works with the schools, and they create a platform for design and art students still in school. They have competitions that I've also generated through Arts Thread, and we will be showing the senior design classes from design schools worldwide because they did not have physical senior classes. So we'll do it virtually, and we'll assist Arts Thread to do that through our channels as well.
Fantastic. I wish you nothing but the best, nothing but health and wellness for you and all of your loved ones and colleagues. Thank you, Ilene Shaw of Shaw Productions and Design Pavilion.
Thank you, Pavan. I truly appreciate it. And to you.
Yeah.
And keep doing what you're doing.
Yeah, I mean, there's no choice but to move forward. So here we are.
That's right. And we will.
Yeah, we will.
See you soon.
Thank you.